Hey everybody, Rodham here for another episode of Kenshi. So this episode I have a rather ambitious goal set for myself, and I'm going to try my best to tackle it. I would like to start a flourishing industry just to kickstart my town building. And that industry is going to require me to take some big risks here, but that is something I'm willing to do. So first off, we got to ditch these bodies that we've been hauling around with us for kind of a long time, doing some strength training. Now, raising your strength will also raise your mining ability, so this has served a bit of a dual purpose if we are to start our own economies up, but at this point, I think it's due to encumber us. So what I'm going to do is start putting everyone back on jobs. And they should be, once put on jobs, they should ditch their the gear that is encumbering them. I'm just making sure that they do it properly. Nope, Ruka did not put the copper away. There, I forced her. Okay, so now everyone's back on a job, but Radamant. Radamant is right here. What I'm going to do with him is going to be a little different. I'm basically going to strip him down so that he's not encumbered in any way, and have him run here. This is, up there is a city called Mongrel, and if you're wondering what's special about Mongrel, it has katana blueprints. I want to be building, crafting katanas, so we are going to work towards that goal. Let's see, Chung. I am setting up with some auto tasks of medicing, finding and rescuing, that sort of thing. So the reason I didn't go to Mongrel before is my athletics wasn't all that high, and Mongrel's not too... Well, Mongrel's a friendly city as far as cities go, but it is not in a friendly location. You need to be able to run fast. Now, once you can run a certain speed, you can more or less outrun most of the really dangerous enemies. So I waited until Radamant's athleticism was well over 30, allowing him to outrun most of what can do him harm easily. So at this point, I can check the map, and I'm near the Hive Village. I guess I can pop in and say hello from right here. You never know if there's some leathers from dead beak things or something to loot and sell. Sometimes there are. Yeah, there's a bunch of beak things kind of waiting outside there. I do not want to fall victim from them. So maybe I'll jump inside this little hive nest. Where is the store's over this way? All of the hive seem to be asleep at the moment. But the shop vendor never sleeps. Okay, so we're here. They really probably aren't going to have any blueprints we're interested in. And the food they're selling is probably a little bit too expensive. So off we go towards Mongrel. Now, one of the things I also want to do in order to get a katana crafting business up and running is get a Scorchlander. Because Scorchlanders are better at, or rather they level up faster in weapon smithing than most others. So if we look at crafting speed, if we look at our squad, obviously we have one 2 Greenlanders, a Shek, another Greenlander, another Greenlander, and a Hive. Hobbs. Yep, Hobbs is indeed a Greenlander. So that means not only do I need to buy the katana blueprints, I also need to recruit a potential Greenlander, which could get a little expensive. So one of the beautiful things here, here's a trick that was shared by Sports to Coach. And let me just show you. Go into this little building. If it will load. There it goes. Give it a second. Okay, now it's fully loaded. It's just because I jumped there from my other character. Now if I, while talking to REI here, if I sell him stuff, I can sell it straight from the boxes that I source it from, which is pretty awesome, if you ask me. And that gives us... That gives us 10k cats, which is the cost of the research that we're going to need to grab for the blueprints for katanas. So now I'm going to just research all the things that don't require books. Just because I'm standing around, I might as well do that. And we'll jump back to Radamant, which might take a second because I have to load a whole new section of the map. And have him continue his run to Mongrel. Now I do believe that Mongrel has a recruitable Scorchlander, but I haven't recruited him yet, so I don't really know the cost or stipulations. But we just discovered Mongrel. Here it is. Now the reason to not go here early on is there's a lot of enemies in the Fog Islands that are less than friendly, is I think the nicest way to put it, without spoiling it. Basically, as soon as you leave kind of where I'm situated and started at, you really start to run the risk of mortal danger. The thing is, I'm playing Dead is Dead Ironman mode. I would not advise a new player to do that. I am a new player to this game, so I am violating my own rule. I understand that. Alright, so the first thing I want to do before I burn any of my cash is to head to the swordsmith and buy the blueprints for katana. Because that is why I came. So hello, old man, and let's find katana. There it is. Just bought it and used it. So now we can craft our own katanas. And that's all I need from you. Let's go putt about the bars and see if we can't find a Scorchlander willing to join us. And if one costs cats, I can always rummage up the cats. He calls himself a killing machine. Nice. I'm gonna buy a little bit of food from the barman because I was hungry. Now here's a Scorchlander, but not one that will get recruited by me. He's not recruitable, I'm just saying. They're sometimes easy to spot. Okay, there's other bars here. I'm also curious what the general vendor has to sell. Not that I have the cats for it, I have 33 cats at the moment, but I can always sell some more ores. Just more of the same. Standard vendor fare here. Now, I might need to wait until later on in the day in Mongrel to try to recruit anyone, because time of day does affect who's where and what they're doing. There are 2 other bars for me to poke into, but it might not be the right time of day, like I said. Let's see. We have a bunch of patrons, Mercer and Captain, more mercs, Skinner. They have a $5,000 bounty on their heads that they want me to clear? More bounties. Yep. Stin. No. Alright, what about upstairs? There's no one upstairs. What about the other bar? I love a town that has multiple bars, right? Especially competing ones right next to one another. Seems reasonable. Okay, well, he's not going to join me. I harassed this guy into joining me. That's pretty funny. I hadn't interacted with him before. He has some pretty cool clothing that I'm just gonna steal for myself. His clothing, and we'll make sure he's not naked. Wow, he is permanently hunched over. Will definitely allow us to run a little bit faster. Alright, Crumple John, you get to travel back to town on your own. I hope you make it there. Alright, well at least I'm wearing pants now. Oh, here is a Scorched Lander. And she joined. Perfect. That is exactly what we wanted. Let's not have you... no, I'll let you have that. Alright, so she's currently weightless. And we will travel back to Squin together. I guess I can travel in one big group with all of them. That would make the most sense. Safety in numbers and all. Even though Rhadamant is probably a lot faster. So, speaking of faster... I'm going to give Crumple John back his shoes. Because he is the slowest out of them all. And then what we'll do is we will have the others follow Crumple John. And Crumple John will figure out the pathing to get back to Squin. And our numbers have just increased. So yeah, as you can see, he's going 18 rather than 17 because of those little sandals. But Shrike and my main character are obviously a little faster. So if we look at Shrike here, we look at the weaponsmithing. Racial XP bonus, 1.2. That is because Scorched Landers have an increased XP bonus to weaponsmithing. That's exactly why we wanted a Scorched Lander. Alright, so I'm going to hope that they can path on their own, and let's give it a second to load in this area. Dr. Chung is almost done with all of his research, I think. Yep. And we have an okay amount of ores to sell. Now, there's a few things we need to research before we can start weaponsmithing. So I am going to attempt to buy more research books and get more progress on that. Okay. We sold all our ore. We bought 4 more. So there's a few things I want to do. One is to upgrade the research bench to... Oh, we almost have enough money for that. So let me think about this. What can I sell for quick scratch? Jung. Let's see about looting some of this ore just so I can sell it a little sooner. 10 books will allow us to research Tech Level 3. Tech Level 3 will unlock... Oh, looks like Hamid just ran back, maybe with some ore. Tech Level 3 will unlock electric component crafting, which can be somewhat of a bread and butter industry for us, at least temporarily in interim. Okay, we don't need to actually move that into our inventory. So I want to get weapon crafting research done and get that crafting table up. But then I also additionally want to get... why are you walking away? Additionally, I want to get the electrical components rolling off the line as well. So there's a bit of both. I'm going to buy a wooden backpack for Dr. Chung. I'm not sure he's going to permanently be the one wearing it. And then buy one more research book, which allows me, that one extra research book allows me to unlock one more tech level. So if I go back to tech level 3, we will start researching that. Now, a wooden backpack is a little bit different than normal backpacks because it allows for items like these iron plates to be stacked in, which can really save a lot of space when mining and the like. If I put wooden backpacks on my miners that are out here, they wouldn't travel back with a stack of, you know, they could stockpile, I guess. Checking in on our guys that are running back. They haven't met any resistance yet, which is good. So Chung is getting tech level 3, and then some of the other research we're going to want is the electrical component crafting. Now, in terms of crafting, I'm going to put my benches up here once it comes time. I could have laid this room out a little bit smarter. I really should have, but it's a little late for that, so... Can always break it down, but this is a temporary base, so I really just don't care enough. Chung can also, after he's done with this, he's going to go to Waystation. Oh, it looks like they stopped. Glad I caught that. Come on, Crumple John. You can pathfind. There we go. Okay, so we are tech level 3 now. Now, for us to have a higher research bench, we can... I guess I'll start the upgrades and have Chung work on it. So half of the condition from 0 to 50 will just be building up what we have. Oh, Crumple John is getting attacked. Getting targeted by a beak thing. So far, no one's been hit. And I am outpacing it. And the other two stopped to fight it because I hadn't put them on passive. So let's get them moving. Shrike here took a bad blow to the head. Luckily, she's fast. Okay, Radama, let's have you auto medic, and we'll reconvene and medic her up so she doesn't keep bleeding out. Right? I mean, that'd be the nice, responsible thing to do. And Crumple John. I'm just trying to think about having them be productive somewhere, somehow. Let's do a quick prospect. Okay, that really didn't work. Let's do that again. Where are they? Why aren't you prospecting? This map seems to be bugged. Okay, well, let's not worry about it at the moment. We can run all the way home. Helping set up these building the research bench would not be a terrible thing. And we added the 4 iron plates that we already had. And of course we're going to need more. We might be able to source it locally, maybe not. She is in bed, that makes sense. She did take a bad blow to the head. Alright, now these two, what is going on with this? I'm not going to worry about that. I can probably just find something for you to work on. Alright, Crumple John, you're going to be working on this copper node here alone. And then I'm going to have Rudama. What time of day is it? They're about to close up. So oh, they closed up too soon. Alright, Chung, let's give the backpack to Rudama. And I am going to show you how much this stuff can carry. As you can see, pretty cool, right? And we're going to head over to Waystation. As long as we do have food. That's good. So we are encumbered again. Wooden backpacks allow for easy encumbrance. Shrike here ought to probably find some sort of mining node. Soon she'll be the weaponsmith, but not quite yet. I guess I'll let her rest for now. So, Rudamant's heading over to the Waystation because they'll sell a lot of iron plates in order to allow for the upgrading of the benches and the construction of the benches and that kind of thing. Good stuff. Chung here is just standing around, literally having nothing to do. That makes sense. So there's the Waystation. Sounds like it's getting pretty windy. Beauty of the Waystation is when everything else is closed up at Squin, I can come here and spend some coin. Alright, so I'll buy an insane amount of everything and head on home. So now I have a lot of iron plates, which will allow for the construction of all the things I want constructed. God bless Waystation. And I also bought some research books with the remainder of the cash. I'm just poking around to see if there's any closer nodes now that my prospecting's not really working, in order to do a little bit of local mining without having to venture too far with Shrike. But honestly, the thing is, she'll be weaponsmithing pretty soon. So, and unless her laboring is really high, which it is not, not a lot of productivity lost, in other words. Alright, Chung and Shrike. She'll temporarily be the engineer. And we'll get this baby built. Alright, so now that we have the research bench, the things we want is the electrical crafting, which we need 4 books for, and then the basic weapon grades, basic weaponsmithing. So that's a few more books. Lucky for me, this shop's just did open. So what I can do is sell off whatever ores I have got. And eventually we'll be processing these ores, which is not yet. And buy a bunch more books. Set up the research. So let's get basic weaponsmithing first, and then electrical crafting after that. Sweet. Additionally, we might want some storage up here. So let's think about this. We would want maybe iron plates storage. That's kind of big, but let's see if we can't put it there. Okay, that works. And then storage for the things we craft. So I don't think I'm really going to need, let me think. Weapon cabinet, maybe. Yeah, maybe a little weapon cabinet. I'm a little out of my element at this point, but that could work. And we're going to need 2 building materials for that, which we can easily pick up for a little bit more scratch. At the moment, we don't even have the... oh, here comes Ruka with some raw iron in order for us to sell for some building materials. And we just got basic weaponsmithing as well. So, that will be awesome. So there is some iron for 2 building materials. And we'll set up the crafting station, the weaponsmith. Getting the weapon cabinet done. Great. And now the weaponsmith. Adding the remainder of the ingredients. And then checking back in on Chung downstairs. For us to make nicer weapons, we're going to have to also research weapon grades. Now, just because we have higher weapon grades research doesn't mean we make nicer. It's also skill-based, but we can start down that road. So, Q. We want regular katanas, I think. And I want Shrike making them. So she's going to be our full-time weaponsmith. And it costs a bunch of iron plates. But ultimately, we can sell some of the katanas. We can even open up a public store if we wanted to. We would have the ability to do that. I think we already have the research. Maybe we don't. I guess I'll have to check. Alright, so we almost have electrical crafting, which is why Radamon's standing up here, so that I can build the crafting station. And then we have to pick another pawn to do it. Maybe Crumple John. You know, if he really does have fragile little bones, that might be a wise thing. And we can... Actually, let's just peek Q. If I look, where would this katana be? There it is. It's in her inventory. Okay, we did just get the electrical crafter, so if we go into electrical workbench, and this takes copper and turns into electrical components. And that's an industry that we can actually benefit from pretty easily. I'm gonna steal her glasses. That's just the type of person I am. Now, it looks like we are out of iron plates. I'll see if I can't source them locally. Might have to go back to the Waystation. But that's the whole, well, I don't know why they would be selling it. That's the whole purpose of the giant backpack that I have. There's some more plates, and while we're at it, we might as well sell off the resources we have. And I'm going to send Radamant to Waystation. And slowly I'll be making, well, let's see. Rusted blade. Slowly we'll be making katanas for everyone. Katana is a pretty good weapon to level up on. Chung, you need some additional research. I'll do weapons grade 3 and 4. And maybe even weapon melting. That wouldn't be terrible. Radamant's over here heading to the Waystation to buy a lot more plates. Eventually we'll be able to manufacture the plates ourselves, but for the moment, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, it's a little prohibitive because we are not allowed to manufacture that within the city limits. So it's, I guess, to put it simply, a little dangerous to do it. Oops, I did not mean to have that conversation. Okay, there we go. You don't have any for me. Well, that's great. In fact, you don't have anything I want. They're not always useful. Maybe I will make my own iron plates. Probably not, though. Not until I have a town. Worst case scenario, these katanas are just for training purposes only. That wouldn't be the end of the world. Kind of a waste of a lot of construction, but, you know, I've done sillier things. Now, what we could do is also make mid-grade salvage blades, depending on the skill of the crafter. And as the research goes up, we'll be able to have access to better and better blades. Now, of course, the best weapons in the game aren't crafted. They are taken off of dead bodies, basically. But this at least gets us to start off somewhere. Yes, there is much, much, much easier ways to get money and do business, without a doubt. I just want to say that there's a lot of ways to sort of cheese your economy that I'm choosing purposefully not to do. There is a lot of guides out there that have sort of get-rich-quick schemes, but I've always felt about the get-rich-quick schemes is they kind of diminish the gameplay, because a lot of this gameplay is about being poor and about scraping and cobbling and you know, living in a hovel. And if you are king of the castle immediately, you appreciate the castle a lot less, right? Or at least that's my thinking. Let me know what you think. I've gone far over my time for the day, obviously, and I'm sure much to the benefit of you guys. But alas, it is time for me to call this one quits. If you have any feedback for me or questions of any type, let me know. And I dearly hope you tune in next time. Adios, everybody. And thanks for watching.